Welcome to Better Ways of Working, how to optimize your focus, master distraction, and win back at least 30 minutes a day. This series of online masterclasses invites you to dive into the most up-to-date time management, energy management, and attention management strategies. It's designed to support you to uplift and transform the way that you work. You'll learn evidence-based and field-tested techniques and tips to help you win back time, feel your best, do your best work, and enjoy the satisfaction of making progress with meaningful work. Hi, my name is Wendy Cole, and I'm an Executive Productivity Advisor and the lead facilitator and founding director of iMastery. I design and facilitate productivity and leadership training and coaching. Better ways of working is one of my favorite topics to cover as it's such an enabler, setting us up for success both in our working and personal lives. Let me give you some quick background to this content. Some years ago, I owned and ran a training and recruiting consultancy with offices in Melbourne and Sydney. I found myself constantly distracted by hundreds of emails a day, plus a steady flow of questions and interruptions from my team. I was working awfully long hours and starting to feel a little frazzled. As luck would have it, I had one of those life-changing conversations with a client. Stu was sharing with me how his public relation team were also swamped with an endless supply of interruptions and distractions. Despite being talented, driven, and working mammoth hours, they still struggled to get key things done on time. Stu, being a big picture creative sort of bloke, waved his hands and said, "Wendy, develop one of your Wendy workshops and train my people to get out of their email to get important things done." Yes, I thought I'd love to, and I suspect I need to answer this for my team and myself as well. So I read a lot, spoke to experts, and through my own trial and error and observation, I developed strategies that made a significant difference. I reduced the time I spent on email from about 3 hours to more like 90 minutes a day. Finally found a to-do list system that seamlessly integrated with email and my calendar, and implemented high-performance habits that were surprisingly easy to maintain. And here's what happened. I began to feel more focused, calm, and in control. My business continued to grow despite working less hours. My team seemed happier, and I suspect I was a little easier to live with at home. I called that first workshop "The Secrets to Getting Things Done and Managing 100 plus emails a day." What you'll learn in this series of masterclasses had its beginnings in that first workshop. Since then, I've refined and evolved the content significantly. As a business owner, psychology graduate, coach, and parent, I guarantee the insights I share with you are holistic, evidence-based, and field-tested. Before we dive in, here's a friendly reminder to gift yourself the space to focus and make the most of the masterclass. To support your learning, I invite you to turn your phone to silent and put it out of sight. Close your email and instant messaging programs. Grab a pen, a highlighter, and a notebook, and have a glass of water handy. Okay, let's get started. In this first session, you'll get some context about productivity, and we'll explore the reasons for finessing the way we work. And because I know you'd love a few quick wins, I'll share 3 powerful tips you can immediately action to win back time and feel more in control of your work. Firstly, some important context. When it comes to productivity, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Yes, there are sound principles we'd be wise to consider, but they still need our own interpretation and customization. Different productivity strategies work for each of us depending on factors like our individual temperament, the nature of the work we do, the type of industry we work in, and the working style of our key stakeholders, including our boss. Even our stage of life has an impact. Strategies that worked in my previous business when I had an office manager and a team of people I could delegate to when I was constantly traveling interstate to facilitate training don't necessarily translate now that I'm working from home with a young family. Interestingly, many of the tips and techniques still support me well. The good news is, when it comes to time, attention, and energy management, the underpinning techniques are very much learnt behaviour. None of us were born knowing how to master our email or even to use a to-do list. We can all learn and apply new skills that help us to win back time and feel more organized and in control of our work. Some of the information about productivity can feel like common sense, but the funny thing with common sense is that it's rarely commonplace. From a technical learning perspective, this is like what's known as the intention-behavior gap. Often we know information and we have the best intentions of applying it, yet we don't consistently implement what we know. So if throughout the masterclasses you hear something you've heard before, rather than glossing over it, try this. Go a little deeper and ask yourself, am I leveraging that insight? Am I applying that time-saving tip to its fullest? It's by doing something differently that we ultimately get a different result. Knowing that productivity is not a one-size-fits-all, we'll purposefully cover a smorgasbord of tips, techniques, strategies, and hacks to support you to do your best work and be your best.
Different productivity approaches work for different people. It's important to consider my unique character and work environment and adopt approaches that best suit me.
Let's now dig into why. Why would we want to further uplift productivity at work? I get that it might feel counterintuitive. I'm pretty good at my work, so why would I want to get even more done? Here are 3 reasons to ponder. Getting things done is key to our motivation, leadership, and self-mastery. The first 2, motivation and leadership, are backed by research. Let's explore these in more detail. Findings from Harvard and Professor Teresa Armabilli show that the most motivating condition we experience at work is making progress towards something personally meaningful. To be able to make progress, we need to be great at getting stuff done, but we also need to know what's important and personally meaningful. Being productive and results-orientated is a top leadership attribute. This insight comes from Google's Project Oxygen research. Google has identified 10 behaviours common amongst its highest performing managers. Being productive and results-orientated comes in at number 4 on the list. People like to work for organised and productive leaders. Just in case you're wondering, is a good coach comes in at number 1. The research is impressively comprehensive and likely translates more broadly to other organisations outside of Google. If you're a manager or aspire to be one, it's critical to make sure you're across the most up-to-date productivity techniques. Now, my take on answering the question, why uplift our productivity, is that it's about self-mastery. As confronting as it may be, no one cares about your time, energy, focus, and well-being more than you do. It's up to you. There's much we can tweak and influence in our work environments to help us focus, get things done, and win back time.
Actively working to increase productivity is an investment. It will help me save time, progress professionally, and develop stronger leadership skills.
For many of us, it's not just about uplifting our output, but also about saving time. What would an extra 30 minutes a day or 2.5 hours a week mean for you? What might be your reasons for implementing better ways of working? I invite you to press pause on this recording and jot down some notes about your why. What prompted you to take this course? What would you like to learn? And importantly, what are your reasons for wanting to uplift the way that you work? Go on, take 5 minutes now to journal your insights. When we know why we want to do something, we're more likely to take action and close the intention-behavior gap. Now that you've clarified your reasons for taking this course, here's how it'll work. The upcoming masterclass series covers both theory as well as practical how-tos. Quite literally, we'll cover close to 50 tips and techniques that you could apply to win back at least 30 minutes a day. There's every chance you'll find yourself saving an hour or more a day. To kick things off, here are 3 time-saving tips. Apply them and start to notice your focus and how much time you win back. Firstly, turn off new email notifications. Gmail and Outlook users, you'll find instructions on how to do this in the resources section. Secondly, schedule time in your calendar each day to complete your top 3 to 5 priorities. This is called time boxing. The next step is to work from your calendar screen, not your inbox. While you're completing your top priorities for the day, work without distraction. This includes turning off your instant messaging and chat features. It's also important to let your colleagues know how long you'll be offline, getting things done. In the coming masterclasses, we'll be exploring the science of distraction to give you a deeper understanding of the significance of these tips. Thanks for watching. Are you curious to know more? Check out the links in the resources. Keen to consolidate and implement your insights? Fantastic. Deliberate reflection supports you to take control of your own learning and mastery. Head to the resources where you'll find a set of inspiring self-coaching questions to ponder.